How's it going, critter people? I hope you all are doing well. Today we're going to be going over another suggestion, one of the new videos by Beckman, talking about how this one change will improve your walks guaranteed. That's a red flag right there for me if you have anybody that says guaranteed. 99% of people are getting this wrong, and in my opinion they're getting it wrong because they don't want to harm their dogs. They actually want a relationship with their dogs. They don't want to hurt their dogs or scare their dogs, but he doesn't care. So because he doesn't care what the dog wants. He only cares about what the human wants. So obviously I work differently. That's why I do these reviews, trying to give a different point of view. Leading into that, we use all footage here under Fair Use Act for education, criticism, giving my point of view, trying to give a voice to the dog, trying to clear up some of the misunderstanding or straight up lies that some trainers say and put out there, and some of the misunderstood, outdated myths and methods. So, he is a compulsion trainer. Whatever he says he is, in my opinion, he's a compulsion trainer. Yank and crank, his method isn't special. That being said, I don't wish for anybody to go send any hate to him or to not watch him. You can watch him, you can support him all you want, you can hate on me, you can do whatever you'd like in this free country. That's your right. I will never say, don't go watch them. I mean, I might say don't do this, but, you can do it if you want. I just don't suggest it. I don't recommend it. I think it's not beneficial for the dog. But that doesn't mean that, anybody should go send him hate or dislike or anything like that, okay? Let's just be respectful in the comments. I don't like his training. I think he's, cruel and unnecessary when working with animals. So, with all that out of the way, let's get started.
Okay. Nope. Absolutely not. We will do this all day.
That wasn't too bad. He's just dragging him back in. Usually he pops him.
I'm going to show you how to do loose leash walking with a young dog. My patented stop method, my patented turn method.
Really patented? Dude, you're not anything special. You just let the dog get to the end of the leash and you pop him. That's it. That's compulsion. It's been done 1,000 times before you. You're not anything special. I mean, it's just clotheslining the animal. It's easy if you don't care about the animal relationship. Here we see, if we actually pause and look at the dog's body language, they're very nervous. We have whale eyes. We have, the tongue is they're panting, stress panting. The tongue is over to the side because they're overstimulated. They're nervous. He's going to be yawning here in a minute.
You're going to have to follow every step
All of these are
that I tell you right
cues.
now in order to get it
This
really
dog is
good.
looking away from him, really panting, blinking a lot. So this dog, I mean, the common thing is that every dog is trying to get away from him. And he has loud hands. He has a tight leash. He's teaching the dog to ignore this. Regardless of what he wants to teach the dog is learning something different. So always be aware of that.
Look at what this dog is doing. Okay? He's ready to go to the door. It doesn't matter what he wants.
And he's so dramatic. He constantly makes a big deal out of everything. If you make a big deal out of it, it's going to become a big deal. This is not a big deal. I mean, he's so exaggerated.
That's the first thing you've got to realize. It doesn't matter where your dog wants to go. Your dog
is nervous,
wants to
trying to get away from him.
Your dog wants to pull you down the street.
He's teaching the
dog
to ignore this pressure on the neck.
So guess what you're going to do? You're going to put the leash on in your house. Of course, in your house, but you're not going to do it by the door.
Agreed.
And then you're simply going to walk away from your door.
But he's not talking about dragging the dog with him. I mean, that was kind of a drag. Like, I'm fine with this if you didn't drag the dog. You can give them a cue to let them know to follow you. And now the dog will follow because he's walking backwards. Because before he got tugged on a leash.
Back into your house. You're going to walk your dog. I don't care if it's the left or the right. But you're going to basically...
Look
now,
how loud
does he
his
look
hands
ready
are.
To go?
Just how rough he is with the collar
sit.
on the harness.
I don't care about him.
Collar on the harness. With the leash on the collar, just pulling and tugging and this and that. He's so loud with his hands versus soft, quiet hands where he's not jerking and popping and this and that. He doesn't even realize what he's doing, what he's teaching the dog to listen to. I always say, I teach dogs that I work with, any animal, to listen to a whisper. As in soft, quiet hands, 10-inch box. Like if you're riding a horse, your hands aren't all over here. You're not talking with the leash or the reins or whatever. I know we're talking about dogs, but same thing still kind of applies. Slide it in and out. Don't be yanking and popping. And if you're going to fix the collar, don't be just rough and rowdy. Be smooth and soft and predictable. And your dog will become smooth and soft and light to give into pressure and predictable.
Looking at me, I don't want to give him a bunch of treats. Now we're going to start to go towards the door. And the big step
I'm glad
is
he doesn't
walking to the
require
door,
a
and then
sit
when
or anything
door
like
opens,
that, but...
He's leaving me. Is this the worst thing in the world? No, but many people watching this, their dog pulls them down the street. This is the first step in getting your dog not to do that. It doesn't matter. Once they...
I don't know. I kind of tend to disagree with that. Like, I mean, I see where he's coming from, but again, he over-exaggerates. Like, oh, he's leaving me. Well, yeah, because you're not giving him anything else to do. You're not talking to him. He knows you're not talking to him. He's bored. If you don't want him to leave you, have a slightly shorter leash, and then he can just stay within that perimeter, and then he can just chill.
Pull, you've lost a little bit. Do this here, and then they pull 80% less out there. Look at that. Did that?
Well, he thought you were going. Again, he makes it such a big deal, and it's really not. I don't know why he's so exaggerated. Is he trying to fearmonger and, like, become more relatable with people? I don't know. I'm not worried about this.
That seemed horrible. It didn't, but it was.
No, it wasn't.
If you want loose leash walking, if you don't want your dog to freak out on other dogs, that matters.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, he tells people how they should think. How about you have your own brain and think about, was this really that big of a deal? I mean, if he were like pulling and dragging and sliding on the floor, he's trying to get out somewhere, that's a different story. But he was just walking away. He's calm. He has squinty eyes, long lips. He's still stressed.
It doesn't seem like it matters. It matters
this
so
dog is
big
stressed.
that I
He's
did
really
not
panting.
follow him when he said...
Oh, he found something over here, so... Cute! So he found something over here. He's just in his own la-di-da land. He doesn't even realize that somebody either dropped something. Maybe there's a mouse running by. Maybe the camera person's chute came untied, or they're backing up. I don't know. But this dog is really interested in this. And now they're ignoring him, but learning to pull on this tight leash and ignore that. The reason why I'm so into having a loose leash at all times, or teaching them, for us to not be just talking and pulling back on the leash and keeping it tight, is because this could be a cue. As soon as the dog feels tension, they move into it and it goes away. If you keep the tension when they move into it, they move back, then they learn that it means nothing. Just ignore it and fight it.
He said, he basically saw me make one movement.
He doesn't even realize this whole time that the dog is watching something over here.
And he said, I'm leaving.
I mean, like, yeah, I'll go on my tangents too when I'm with clients, but if I'm holding on to the dog, I'm paying attention. You can bet that I would not miss that. I'm always looking at the dog when I'm talking. If I have the dog, if I'm handling the dog. If I'm just over here standing and the dog's wandering around, that's something different.
That's old behavior.
So the dog is looking
new behavior
over here. They're holding themselves back from whatever they want to get to. He doesn't even realize the dog. He doesn't care. The dog was looking at something interesting, which means that he could have either taught a cue of leave it, or it might be something dangerous, or there could be a mouse in there and he needs to get it. I don't know. He's just focused on whatever he has to say.
He doesn't go anywhere without checking in with you. Does that mean he has to be a robot and can't smell and whatnot?
No, but that's what you make them, though. He really does. If you watch him working with dogs, he really requires them to be a robot and think the way, like, read his mind. I mean, I'm all for checking in. I think that's great. I'm going to be working with a deaf dog, actually, that with deaf dogs, I particularly reward and reinforce them checking in, because that's how we can give them the hand signals and sign language and body language and all that. But, with everyday dogs, like, it's good to always have an occasional check-in. I'll always reward that.
He cannot just go off on his own, which he did not do. He stopped himself.
But he doesn't get any reward. His reward is not being punished. That's it.
Okay, so now you're going to walk towards the door.
Lip, lick,
loose
lip,
leash
lick.
walking, right?
More anxiety.
I don't care if you do a sit stay. I don't care what you do.
Good.
And then you are going to fling the door open.
Drag him back in, run him into the wall. The dog is fighting this because it's called opposition reflex. He thinks he's going to die. He's getting choked, and he says, how do I get out of this? He's fighting it naturally. You can teach your dog not this way. I wouldn't suggest this way. To give into pressure, though, when you prepare them properly, so if this happens, they don't fight it, but they know how to give into it. So that way, if you need to save them from something, they're not going to fight you and slip their collar.
And he's coming back.
So he
now, why did I go grab him? Because he has
learned
learned
slip his collar.
that he can get out of things. I didn't know this. This dog got here yesterday. If he pulls back and then this...
Again, by showing examples like this, he's making the dog uncomfortable, and he's still correcting the dog in the dog's mind. At least that's just my guess, my thought. If I were a dog, I would think that he's still correcting me. And he's just, again, teaching the dog rough handling, that everybody's going to be rough with him. So he's not going to be able to, feel, say, like a soft touch. He's not going to respond to it nearly as much. He's going to require a rough hand because that's just all he's been taught with.
The collar comes off. I could just tell. Hopefully I got it on there. So we're going to tighten this collar, and then
I think that's fine. I don't think the dog's going to slip out unless you're an idiot.
I want to just sit outside, and then you will just come and follow me, and I'll be able to go and do what I want on the walk. Those days are over.
Dogs
with
don't think
your
that
dog.
way. Again, look at this poor dog. He's so nervous. He thinks that you're just reprimanding him and just, I don't like to adjust things on a dog while it's on them. I like to take them off, adjust them, because it can take, you can fiddle with them all you want, and then you can put it back on the dog. I think that collar was properly fitted, unless you're just an idiot and you're trying to teach your dog to back out of their collar. And I'm not saying everybody is an idiot. I just mean like him. Like when you're purposely trying to just drag your dog around.
Where your dog does that. Now, we don't care unless the dog is bad at loose leash walking.
So now the dog is trying to fight because you know why he doesn't want to go in? Because he popped him. Because he's scared of him. Because he doesn't have a positive association with him. He's a smart dog.
Where he wants to go. I care so little. You can now see it in his eyes a little bit where he's going, oh, this is different. And with your dog, if you've never...
No, it's not just different. He tries to downplay it. He either exaggerates or he downplays. It's not that this is different. Or, oh, this or oh, that. They're saying, ouch, that hurts. Or, oh, that's scary. Or both. I don't know. I would think that would probably not be too comfortable, having something around your neck, that's just as foreign to a dog or any other animal as it is to a human, but we just think that they should be used to it. Being drug around by the neck with leverage, and someone who's really tall is just dragging you around. You're not just going to think, oh, that's different.
Done this right, it is different.
It's scary.
Oh, it only took twice. And now look at this dog. Okay. Nope. Absolutely not. We will do this all day.
Trust.
I've never seen them walk him, but I know what they do. He flies out the door, they follow him. That's what everyone does. Now he's hesitant. Great. Hesitation is good out in that...
I don't agree with that. I don't want my dog to hesitate. Like this, he's hesitating out of fear. I would rather have him have self-control because he knows it's better to wait over here because he associates me with something better than whatever is outside.
Big crazy world when he's going to see dogs. We want hesitation.
No,
I want
we don't.
more hesitation than...
I mean, maybe you do. Another anxiety, yawn, blink, wink, whatever. Maybe if you want hesitation, go for it. Yes, I would like my dog to hesitate, but because they're thinking, not because they're afraid of what I will do.
No hesitation. He's right now going, oh my God, what the heck's going on? This is totally new. Now let's see.
He's afraid of me. He says, I don't know what to do to stop this crazy person from scaring me or hurting me or at the very least causing discomfort.
Good. Okay, come on. If your dog hesitates...
See, he just comes up near him and lip licks and his head goes down. He's just so nervous to be anywhere around this guy, and I don't blame him. I'm sorry.
Behind you at your front door? Who cares? Wonderful. Look at this guy. Anytime he leaves me, then this is going to happen, and it's going to continue to happen.
He's just so confused. That was your fault because you threw the leash around his head. He didn't know what to do.
This all day.
And Goldens are such soft dogs.
Oh, good boy. Oh, why don't I treat him?
The one good boy he gets in that tail wag, that means a lot to him because Goldens will appreciate that. A Shiba will say, fuck you, dude. He's like, I ain't doing this. A cattle dog would say, screw you. But Goldens are so soft and they'll.
We can treat him. It doesn't move the bar. The stops and the turns and come back in your house.
Sure it does. You can absolutely treat him and then you won't have to do any of this.
That's what moves the bar. Come on.
No, it's not.
Come on.
Okay. I will say, yes, it does move the bar, but at whose expense? The animal's expense. And the human just gets to be lazy and just, pop their dog at the end of a leash and be just nonsense.
Now we have a dog that is calmly walking out. We're not tyrants.
Why is he screaming? Sorry, I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit.
He doesn't need to be perfect.
No, you are a tyrant. Because, look, this dog can't take 2 steps without you just, you can't even apply gentle pressure. You have to jerk it. You have to pop it. You can see in my video, which I don't know if I've said this before or not. I'll put a link in the video in the description below of how I teach loose leash walking, and I'm going to put a clip in here as well of what I mean when I'm talking about soft hands. And if I, have this dog at the end of their 6-foot leash, gentle, steady pressure, and you do that over and over and over again, and over time, it becomes second nature to you. You don't need to just pop.
Now watch, the moment he leaves is the moment
you don't even give him a chance. You don't even talk to him.
He is used to going, I go where I want to go. I don't even know where you are.
Ouch.
Now he is going.
You can at least give him a cue or shorten your leash. I mean, this is so unnecessary.
And we're not looking for perfection. We're looking to quell the...
No, it looks like you're looking for perfection because you are just such a narcissist and you are just so controlling. This dog thinks you're looking for a perfectionist. I mean, they don't know. They're trying to give you the right answer. And they're doing really, really well. But all you teach is you force them to do the wrong thing, which is you doing the wrong thing, and then you have to punish them for it. Totally unnecessary.
Impulse that says, I just go where I want to go, and I never look at this guy.
Well, he would. If you gave him 1 or 2 treats in this entire time, I'm sure he would be looking at you. I know, because that happens with me all the time. Dogs know me. They know me from, weeks apart. I'm not constantly giving them food. I'm not, using it a bribe. I'm not using it as a bribe. I give them some every now and then, especially on a walk. I don't use a whole lot of treats, but it depends on the situation. If we're working with reactivity, absolutely. If we're just going for a walk, usually I use the walk as the reward, but if the dog requires a little more, then we can do that. No problem. And if we're just out here just standing and they happen to look at me, yes, I'm going to back up and give them a reward when they catch up to me. And I walk backwards as a way to reinforce the recall without saying anything.
Then you start walking, and then the dog leaves you.
Ouch.
Because you stop and you turn. You have to remember that
God,
you do not care where your dog goes. You're not following him, though. You're never following your dog. Okay? Your dog, I'm training him now.
Look how rough he is, just jerking around, just leash everywhere, running into him, and he's going to turn into him and knee him and stuff. Look, I don't want a dog to be pulling me down the street either, but it doesn't have to be this. It's not about you follow me or I follow you. We go for a walk together. And just so people know, we go for a walk for the dog's sake. Not what Caesar says where, and he's a big Caesar follower, where he, Caesar says, I'm going for a walk and the dog is lucky enough to come along. No, dummy, you're lucky enough to have access to a dog and have a dog that is so, sees you as God, basically. I mean, dogs put up with so much.
Look at where I go. And then
unnecessary jerk.
This is the same as the doorway.
Learn helplessness.
Oh, now he's coming.
Because he has to.
Oh, now he's coming. Now we have a following dog.
I don't want a following dog. I want to walk with my dog. I don't care if my dog is anywhere, I don't care if my dog is 6 feet in front of me, behind me, on my shoulders getting a piggyback ride, okay? I don't care where they are, as long as they're not pulling me or acting crazy. But I take time to prepare them for that. And when they do pull, I'm not jerking on them. I just stop and we apply very gentle, I apply very gentle, steady pressure. Fingers worth. Not a whole hand gripping and just jerking and popping the dog.
Little correction.
Very fearful.
Correction right there. Then we have a following dog.
I don't want a following dog.
Front driveway. Then you can go on your.
I don't like following dogs.
Have a dog.
I mean, that's just me.
Nope. Saw something.
Didn't even try to give him a chance. Doesn't even try to call him or say, hey, anything.
Doesn't matter. I was 6 foot leash, 2 foot arm. He was 8 feet away from me, didn't know where I was. Leash reactivity, loose leash walking dog has to know where you are. The whole opposite of
Jesus
knowing
Christ,
where you
dude, just run into the dog. Don't even tell him where you're going.
Leaving you and going about his business. Treats next to you.
Dog is so stressed.
This is easier. And this isn't mean.
No, it's not easier, and it is mean. You're an idiot. You're a liar. You're a con artist. I mean, you could say whatever the hell you want to. The dog doesn't like it. It doesn't benefit the dog. It only benefits the human. I think it's mean. You can certainly use treats twice or 3 times, 3 treats in this whole time, and the dog will be so much happier and engaged with you, and not out of fear, and not because as soon as you drop this leash, this dog is taken off. This dog is not going to hang out with you unless you punish and punish and punish, and then it develops learned helplessness. That's what this is. But if you want your dog to do this, then fine. I mean, by all means, go follow Joel.
And it's not painful.
Oh, it's bull, dude. Don't even try to say it's not painful. How does it work then? I'm not saying it's like a prong collar at the end of this leash, but it's certainly uncomfortable. You don't know because you're not in the same exact position. Get on your hands and knees, have a collar on, have somebody your height with the weight difference between, you and this dog, and then have them jerk and pop you and expect you. Then you can say whether it's painful or not. But even then, you're not a dog. You're not this dog. So don't lie. This works because it is uncomfortable at the very least, painful at the most. I think this is probably just highly uncomfortable for the dog, but we don't know that it's not painful.
And this guy is slowly starting to learn. Now, if I were you, I would have gone on your walk about a minute after I walked out that door. I'm just keep going because I want better than you want. Okay, and you might not. You're never.
Because I thought you said we didn't want perfectionist. We're not looking for being perfect, but he is. Narcissist.
You should do this. I don't think many people are, but if we get it 80% better,
dragging.
You're good. I'm trying.
Now he's just dragging the dog everywhere. Great. Okay, so instead of your dog dragging you, now you could just drag your dog with you. Your dog still hates the walk. Good luck.
100% better, and you can work at it, and you should work at it every day. Now we have a dog. Oh,
you didn't even give him a chance. Didn't even give him a chance.
Decision to come to me.
I'm with this dog.
Now
he's like, you know what? I'm gonna get corrected anyway. I'm just gonna take my time. Screw it. I hate this guy. I don't like this guy. And it's not because he's like teaching him manners. It doesn't need to be this way. This is entirely unnecessary.
We go on a walk. This is a different dog. This is
dragging him. It is a different dog. So okay, well that was my opinion of this narcissist. I don't think it's necessary, and I think the reason why a lot of people are getting it wrong is because they don't want to do this to their own dog. They don't have it in them to be harsh or cruel or just aggressive with their dog. I mean, this wasn't as aggressive as he's been before, but it's aggressive enough. I mean, the dog showed it. So anyway, I hope you learned stuff from this. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to like, you can like. If you dislike it, you can dislike. Subscribe if you would like to see more videos. You can leave a comment, suggest other suggestions you have. Go say hi to your little critters, whatever critter you may have. Say howdy do for me. Give him some kind of lovin'. And until next time, stay positive.